Hey everybody, it's Patrice and Erin, and we're doing our Coffee in Command, talking about our referrals, why to do referrals, great ways to do referrals, where you can get that business. Oh, someone's on. And so we're in New York City, actually with the Quad group, and so we're really excited to learn more about what's important to them in their referrals. So Erin, why don't you get us started?
Yes. So hi everyone, I'm from your Manhattan office. Referrals. Referrals to me is one of the most important things that I didn't know about and needed to know about before coming to KW. But since I came here, it is one of the most important things to know here because we are the largest company globally. So you can be working with someone, I've sent referrals to France. I've sent referrals to Greece. I've also sent referrals back to Wisconsin, where I'm from. And having the ability to know so many agents from all over the country and being able to talk to them to learn that they have had the same training as you really allows you to put people that you know into good hands and builds that relationship even further. So that's why, and get paid for it. So, that's why this is really so important because we're in a company where this can be a third of your business. I know some people that referrals really are a third of their business, their income from referrals. And so why not be a part of the biggest company with most opportunity to do that? And we're going to talk a bit more about that.
I love that. So I always bring up, we are in over 50 countries right now, and they are in talks with a lot of other ones. So we are growing like crazy. I think I always just want to say we have over 170,000 agents. And by the way, those are like months ago numbers. So it just keeps growing and growing. So the opportunity is just getting to be crazy. And Erin, I love how you talk about how you know that they're getting some level of training, right? That's the KW way is we all come here with, we're more business minded. We're more cultural minded. We're more about bettering ourselves. So it really does matter because I know, by show of hands, how many of you referred to an agent and then you were kind of embarrassed because either the ball was dropped, the service wasn't good, you never heard from them again. Like, it's just like, oh my God, I'm never going out of my way, right? I know that sometimes I'm like, the money would be nice, but I'm not risking my reputation. Thank you. I'm not risking my reputation for a small paycheck when I don't know if I'm going to trust somebody. So I think that's definitely a big part of it. And I think a lot of people I think that's why a lot of people hold back. So, it's something that Erin and I have been a lot more conscious of. So I met Erin last year. It's our 1-year anniversary. This would be a heart. Sorry, I hurt my hand. So half of a heart. She was teaching a class.
I'll be your other half.
Thank you. At France Family Reunion on building a luxury business, right? So 22 of us went from the US, and then we went there with all these amazing agents from France. And what happened is there were agents from all over the world. It was really amazing. And so we got to build these great relationships with these people. And to be honest, I've always gotten referral business. I was always happy to receive referral business. That was easy. I never went out of my way to give it. And to be honest, I was a little too insecure to put my ego on the line and ask for it most of the time because I just didn't want to have to put that out there. Like, we always want to be like, oh, I've got nothing but business. I'm just fine, right? So, but here we go with all these like-minded agents, and we just have this great connection. And then, surprise, pandemic happens. No one was expecting that. And we started becoming a lot closer as a community, right? We didn't have our open houses to go to. We didn't have those other ways of business that we were naturally doing. And so it's funny, there's like a group of us, kind of this small core, that we just started getting a lot more purposeful about referral business. Some of us had actually gotten together and formed a group at Family Reunion earlier in the year. But again, I don't know if we would have done quite as great of a job if it wasn't for COVID. But now here we are, you guys, we all have to find new ways to be creative. And so what we've done with this referral business, and what your opportunity is to find a network of people that you're fighting for one another and helping each other grow our business. So you've seen Erin, I'm sure, quite a bit all over Facebook. She's quite active. She's doing a lot of things for referral business. For those of you, I don't know if any of you guys have seen me yet, but same with me. And what's happened is since, I don't know if I think it was mid-June, I had to spend a lot of time away this year. And so the only people that I really had the bandwidth to talk to were the agents that I was in relationship with. I didn't feel like I could chase clients the same way. So we had a lot of realtor relationships. So since then, I received last year 40 referrals, people giving me business and connecting me with people in their life. Most of those were from realtors. some of them were from past clients, but it really opened my eyes. Like, oh my God, you guys, this is a big opportunity. And really, it's
Could you
so
pause
easy and
for
fun.
1 second?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just by show of hands, would anybody like 40 extra pieces of business this year? No, nobody here wants it. I mean, sorry, I just want to make sure you all heard that.
I love the
30
reaction.
people were like, "Hi, can you please help a client buy, sell, or invest in real estate?" We all heard that? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please continue, Patrice.
And these weren't people that I was chasing down for much of my career. And I think a lot of us do this all the time. We're so busy chasing agents. We're so busy trying to find them that we forget about missing all the opportunities that are all around. So that was certainly as an eye opener. You know, at the same time, again, Erin was doing this, and she's doing kind of, you know, we all get to have our own brand of doing this, by the way. So Erin, tell them about what you were doing, and then share some of, because you've had opportunities internationally already, which is amazing.
Yeah. So I think it's really important to do a couple things. First of all, incorporate what you'd like to do and find a way to build a business around it, right? So I love to travel. So one of the best parts about having or being a part of a company that is the largest company globally is that you get to travel and tax deduct part of it when you incorporate real estate. Yay! Talk to your accountant, disclaimer. So for me, I would go to London often. So I would go to those offices. I would meet those agents. And I've now, because I've grown those relationships, gotten referrals actually from an agent in London. Paris, I did that as well. And I've gotten two referrals actually from them. Also, when I taught at the family reunion last year, right, I made sure I was there, I was engaged, and I've gotten referrals that way. And it's not just about getting, but these are just examples, because I also am very big on giving referrals. If you guys ever need to know of an agent somewhere, if I haven't spoken to them, I'm sure Patrice has spoken to someone in that area, because we do constantly try to build those relationships with agents all over. So for me, the referrals came about more because I just really wanted to travel, if I'm being honest about it. And I was like, okay, great. I can meet all these agents all over. And then I would see agents like Patrice that are getting 40 extra pieces of business a year. And I'm like, whoa, I'm missing out on something real big here. And also, well, I guess now luxury has changed, but, there's still like KWYP, and there's still different organizations you can be a part of in KW. So you really can build those relationships with people. And, I always suggest building relationships with people that are like you in areas that, you can have business going to and business coming from, because then knowing that they have the same KW training, right? Like I ask people, like, have you taken Bold? Have you taken Ignite? It's not necessarily about what their production level is, but have you had the same training that I've had? And, you do have some production, or at least you're willing to partner with someone maybe in your office for production. Then I know the person I'm sending, I know if I like that person, they're probably similar to me, right? People like working with people like them. So if I'm sending someone that likes working with me to them, then they'll probably like that person too, as long as I've done my homework beforehand, which I think is something that Patrice is also really, really good at.
Yeah, thank you. Hope so. Well, Monique has a question real quick. So Monique, did we lose Monique?
No, I was just raising my hand in agreement that I would like more business.
Good. We did say we're going to call out. So keep raising the hands. I have a fin, so I hurt myself. So excuse that little funny thing out there. I'm all fine, but I talk with my hands. So
no problem. Thank you very much.
And Erin's so right, you guys. Again, there's so much work that we do in this business, and we work hard. But this is such a neat area that you really get to do what you want. You get to put your own personality. We have 170,000 agents. Find the ones that are like you. Let your freak flag fly a little bit. Erin talked about it. She likes traveling, like my person is the unicorn. By the way, this was a gift. People send me these all the time now. But you get to be whoever you want, right? And, we talk about all the time, and I know a big thing for my business was like, what's your brand? Who are you? What's your value proposition? And kind of finding that. And I think, if there's one thing that's changed in COVID is we are all so much more, we all stepped back for a while and had to think like, who am I as a person? And then we're just all over social media. So there's a lot of those opportunities. So that kind of brings us into like, okay, how does this happen? So Erin can give us a little tutorial on how we can do it on command, but we're going to start out just at the basics. So number one, you guys should be on a lot of KW Facebook groups. So if you put in, if you go to Facebook and you type in KW referral, any combination like that, you're going to see dozens of little groups that'll pop up. Join them all, right? Join them. If you specialize in veterans, look up senior veterans. If you specialize in seniors. If you do equestrian, I don't know if that's happening in Manhattan, actually. Not a lot of equestrian property.
For you in Long Island.
Okay, there we go. If you like horses, then you'd like to refer out. But the point is like, you really should. So that's number one where you should go. Number two, being purposeful, right? We have family reunion that's coming up just recently at Mega Camp. These guys, those classes do have little breakout rooms. And I would say, and I literally have challenged my team on this, you have to start speaking up. You have to start having a voice so that people will recognize you. And you have to pay attention, put your name on the screen and literally say, I'm Patrice from New York City and I'm looking for referral partners. I have family in Nebraska and I love traveling to Paris. If there's anyone on here that may like to be my partner, I would love the connection. And I can promise you guys, you will get connections that way. It really will make a difference. And again, and I always say you have to come from contribution. So never in my career before have I had even a referral, like how many things I wanted to get for referral. I never was as purposeful as I am this year. But this year, my goal is to get 100 incoming referrals. Now, I don't expect to close 100 pieces of referral business within this year. However, I do expect to be in contact where 100 people will give me and my team the nod to get that. I also have a goal, which I've never had before, to give out 50 outgoing referrals. And I'm happy to say that I'm already at like 10 incoming referrals, not counting one that I got from my team member yesterday, actually. So we'll count that as 11 incoming referrals. And I've sent out 4. We're just barely into January. And I'm not saying that in a bragging way. I'm saying that that's now my purpose, and it just makes sense for my business.
Wait, no. One more time. Sorry, did anybody hear that she had 11 incoming referrals and it's January 22nd? Anyone else want that kind of business? No? Okay, a couple of us. All right. Those of you that don't want it, I'll take it for you. Sorry, please continue.
No, I love that. Thank you for the thumbs up. The cool thing, and by the way, Erin is my peak performance partner. She and I have grown a lot this year. And I think one thing that's neat about this is sometimes I've gotten into judgment on myself that this does not work or these are not contacts. Like, I think that sometimes we get into our head, like, I don't have time to build a relationship with agents because I have to go find business, right? You're like, okay, this is what work looks like in this little square. And this is what dollar producing hours. And I think we just have to kind of be really open-minded and saying business is whatever you make it. Now, I do have to do a lot of pipeline calls. I do ask for past clients. I ask for referrals from everyone. That's the cool thing. In addition, I'm also really purposeful about growing relationships, and I call it wholesale business because it's wholesale lead generation. I'm working on getting deals from people that might give me 2 or 3 or 4 deals a year, right? So I'd love to hear some feedback on some of this stuff, you guys, and kind of what you're thinking. And I'd love, we can even kind of mastermind on and some different ideas because Erin and I have lots, but we'd love to hear from you. Marshall.
Hi, my name is Marshall Dean. I'm new to the New York City office and real estate.
Welcome.
And yeah, actually, I've been doing it within the Keller Williams circle. But right now, hearing you both speak of it, I'm seeing the missed opportunity I've had so far by not talking with more agents within Keller Williams and seeing other opportunities that come up. I'm from Mexico originally, and
we have a lot of great Mexico agents that we're friends with and talk about opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Marshall, can I ask you? You live in New York City. The average price point is what?
Real estate?
Yeah.
Rental or sales?
Sale.
I would say $1 million.
Okay. You're from Mexico. The average price point is significantly lower. Is that correct?
Yes.
There's a 25% is the standard referral fee. If people that you know and care about in real estate or in Mexico and they refer you a deal, isn't it possible that they will make more from referring to you than they would if they actually sold a house?
Of course. And
pretty
actually, I have an aunt. She works in real estate in Mexico, and I referred a friend of mine that his parents were selling their home in Mexico, and she sold it, and I got 25% of her commission.
I love that. I love that. And now you need to get into her. First of all, convert her to KW for fun, because I used to be our growth committee chairperson. So love profit share. That's fun mailbox money. And number two, get into her office and get around her people and teach them that opportunity, because isn't it amazing? You know, I always think the first time we taught this class was in Panama, the country of Panama. And at the time they were in very strict lockdowns. They could only go out of the house for 1 day a week for a couple of hours, like based on their numbers, right? And we're having this class, and the aha is, oh my God, these people can't sell real estate. They can't even leave their home. But what if they did lead generation to try and get referral business for someone that they know and trust, right? What if they could literally still continue to actually work? So it's a really cool opportunity, and I hope that you will spend some time in Mexico and really teaching agents about this opportunity, because it really is beautiful. It's a win-win-win for everyone. Monique, do you have a question?
No, sorry, not again. I was just raising my hand. Erin asked the question, and I'm,
I love
ready
it.
with my hand.
I'm going to keep checking just to make sure. Better safe than sorry.
I did put in the chat that my first piece of business was through a referral.
I love that.
My clients bought a house in South Carolina and needed to sell their co-op in New York. And so I got it through referral, but not with an agent that I had a relationship with. They looked through the white pages. The seller, my client, looked through the white pages, found that I had a full profile, and decided to select me as the agent to sell their co-op in New York.
Nice.
But I've seen the opportunity with Kelly when they first implemented Kelly. I had a lot of people reaching out to me wanting to, partner and become one of my referrals. And I mean, people I didn't know, agents I didn't know all over the United States. I haven't seen any from other countries. But my family is originally from Puerto Rico, and I see an enormous potential to actually be able to do referral, in Puerto Rico, where my family is.
I love Puerto Rico, by the way. I'm coming with you next time that you go visit. And they have such a good market center. We were visiting with them on, was it Mega Camp? It was just virtual, of course. So. But we were able, they hosted some masterminds internationally, by the way. It's another something, if you guys are going to family reunion, I'm sure they'll do it again. And so they were hosting, and you were getting to learn what was going on. So again, it's amazing how many opportunities, you guys. I'm just really excited. And Aretha, you have some. Monique, tell me if you still want to go, and then if not, we'll go to Aretha next.
No, I'm done. I just wanted to add that yes, that's why I needed to take this class.
I love that. And by the way, I'm just going to challenge you as well. Number one, Marshall, you missed an opportunity. So you have a one that's got away moment that is going to inspire you to actually take this a lot more serious. Monique, you had that opportunity that worked out well for you the first time. And I'm going to challenge you to be in relationship with that agent so that you can continue to nurture that. Because what I found, and one of the things, part of the reason we've gotten so many of those referrals wasn't just because they were one-timers, but that because I stayed in relationship, because of the communication that I gave, the service, and I didn't just call the client all the time. We call that agent constantly. Like, she is now my buddy, actually a few of them, and they would give us repeat business over and over again, right? I would just say, I love giving you a referral. This was awesome, right? $10,000, like, where's my next one? Where's my next deal? So I do want to challenge you to supersize that.
Okay.
Michael Putnam, who Erin and I actually interviewed, we're going to be sharing this amazing interview that's going out. And he has this thing, and he calls 1 + 1 = 8. And what he means by that is, when you do something and you have an opportunity to do one more thing, don't even stop there. You do everything. Right. You tag that lady on social media and say, thank you for that amazing referral. I'm so grateful to get to do that. I can't wait to return the favor. You share one thing after the other. You put her in your database. You try and find her business. Like, do you see how that works out? Sorry that I got sorry, Aretha, that I'm,
right. Absolutely. Great.
I'm in the way, but yeah, I want to challenge you to do that as well, because that makes a difference. We're not just trying to get one piece of business, right? It is different than just a client and that's all you've got. You should be able to get lots. So Aretha, go for it.
No, and I was actually just going to piggyback off of what she said. It was literally, so it wasn't international or anything. I actually was speaking with someone that had work in North Carolina. She's a Keller Williams agent in North Carolina, and a friend of mine, they are needing to sell their house in Kernersville, North Carolina. So I was just reaching out on both, like, you know, just like Monique said, like I reached out on both, and just because she's a bold agent, I'm like, okay, well, I know like she's going to be doing her thing. And then, you know, I get to talking to her to like really like get to know the agent, and she's like, oh, I've been doing real estate since 2008. And then she starts explaining to me how she has different groups and different ways she does things. And, you know, we're piggybacking off of her. And then I'm telling.
Uh-oh. We're frozen a little.
We're just exchanging information. And at some point, we're probably going to do like script practicing and stuff like that, because we were talking about building up a future relationship. So yeah, that's why I'm taking this class, is to like really like not only take it just national, but also international as well.
I love that. I think it's so important. Yeah. And again, it's just, you just keep supersizing it, right? You're literally in relationship, and you can hear the excitement in your voice, right? You clearly enjoyed that connection, and you literally have a business ally, right? We always say this is a lonely business. I've always heard that said about real estate. It doesn't have to be, right? There are a lot of moments we are on our own, and yet we can build a sphere of us kind of to watch out for one another.
That's great. Yeah.
And Angelo, I just muted you, so I apologize. If you want to speak, raise your hand and unmute. There was a little bit of crinkle, so don't mind me. I'll make myself at home here. So I love that. Now, you guys were talking about KW across the globe. We're talking about KW across the country. Honestly, realtors from everywhere. Vanessa, I'll get right to you. I just want to also, after Vanessa speaks, I want to make sure that we also talk about local referrals. Talking about opening your mind to who is 2 hours away, who is 40, who's on the other side of the bridge from you. Who is it that is, and Erin's going to show us and do a tutorial, and she'll talk more. Who is it that are in the feeder cities that are coming back and forth? Because it's very exotic to say I got a referral from Paris, and it's amazing to go and write that off, right? And teach these classes. That's amazing. We want to do that. We also really want to be very, very intentional that a lot of that business is going to come from that repeat business over and over again. So Vanessa, you go, and then we'll have Erin take over, and she can do the tutorial.
Okay. What would your opinion be on joining a team, an international team?
Can you say more about that?
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So where I was just in contact with somebody recently, or just earlier this week, also sending a referral out to someone internationally, and they brought up if I would want to be part of the team to kind of help advertise them and be the point person out of my market center. So I was just curious as to how that works, and like what your opinion would be on something like that.
So that would be following more of the expansion model. And so that I would, ask them more, have conversations, and also probably talk to your team lead about it, because there is a way that this works beautifully in expansion. However, expansion typically happens closer, right? Because there's still your hub, there's still your transaction coordinator, there's still your everything. You're just the expansion of it, and they're providing you with a certain amount of leads in order for it to be worth it. So I would get more clarity from them, because maybe what they mean by that is they want someone that they can be in relationship with, and they have leads for you, right? Or maybe it really means we want to be an official team and we want to run your back end. So I would get more details from them and then talk to your team lead.
Okay.
I love that. And if you're going to be open to an expansion, I would say then talk to local expansions as well, right? If you're going to, that's literally shifting your business, and that's a much even bigger question and discussion than kind of the referrals. Now, piggybacking on that, I will say one thing that is cool, and we do a lot, is that people tag us on their listings all the time. People tag us on their listings like crazy, and we share their listings. So we do help them to market themselves, which makes us look cool. And then the other thing you guys missed last week, we did a class on Lead Accelerator, but I also, and it happened by accident the first time, is I actually do run ads for some of my referral partners. So when they tag me on something, I will post ads, pay for ads, so that I can potentially get business and maybe give them a referral. If there's anything that people love, it's like, they give me one referral, I give them 25 leads, right? It just shows that coming from contribution reciprocal. So thank you for bringing that up, Vanessa, because I had forgotten about that. But you definitely, I think it's worth exploring. How about that?
Okay,
but I would gather a lot. I would ask a lot more questions, because when you're talking about getting into a partnership, that's something you really want to make sure that you have all the information for. And it's one of those things that's complex, and it could be a great idea for you. And it also could be something that you're limiting yourself. It's just up to you, right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about if referrals in your marketplace. Who has done some local referrals? I can think of a couple places. I'm assuming people go from New York City, but I'd love to hear from you guys.
Well, one of the things that I want to say too for us, especially locally, because it can be really easy to assume where we would be referring a lot, but it's another thing to actually test this. And one thing I forgot to say in Paris was that I will put a property from somewhere else in every newsletter. That was actually how I got the idea to start Where to We Lock, because I put something from the south of France in a newsletter, and my client actually called, or one of my clients called from the newsletter, and it's like, I'm actually really interested in this property. How do I get more information, and how do I buy there? So that is one great way, because I've put stuff from Connecticut. I've put stuff from different places in New Jersey to see, okay, who's clicking through. That's a great way to figure out, okay, I really should have a referral partner. Maybe it's, Bergen County. Maybe it's, well, for me, Nassau, right? Because you're all around there. So you probably don't need to refer there. But really just kind of testing those places that are closer. And if you just look at your MailChimp results and the click-through, you'll see what places people are more interested in. Call those people that clicked on it and see if they would, hey, I saw that you were looking at the property that I posted in Greenwich, Connecticut. Do you or anyone you know have any interest in speaking to an agent there that can guide you to see if this is the right place for you to purchase a property? Right? Because you also want them to click through and use you to get to that person. So don't be afraid to kind of test it out that way. Or when you do go into all of these referral Facebook pages, do a search for your area and then see who has posted looking for an agent there and see where they're from. I would friend that agent right away. If they know one person from there, they may know more. Start a relationship with them. And of course, when they're like, oh my gosh, I gave out a referral in that area not too long ago, be like, oh my, how funny. I was actually just thinking of finding someone in your neighborhood. But also be sure to just find some other people in that area, right? Because you already know that someone from there comes to your area. So it might be a trend.
Yes, and I'm obsessed with tracking patterns. And Erin, will you share the screen and will you show us how they can see some of that? And Kelly, that will help a little bit as well.
And Kelly's having a moment today, but I'm going to show you how to get there.
And Command, I didn't mean to say Kelly, so yeah.
Or sorry, Command.
Because it is really neat if you can systematize. And Erin, I just love that you're putting people in your newsletter. I have to say that, I kind of joke with, in real estate, we all kind of think we're movie stars a little bit. So when agents are like, can I feature one of your listings? I get really excited. It makes me feel special. I make sure that I tag them next time, right? I feel like I owe them something in return. So she's posting other people's listings. What a great way so that you could say, hey, can I share your listing with my database? Because I believe that, I'd like to find a client. And I joke all the time and I'm like, I want to pay you a referral fee, or I want you to pay me a referral fee. Either way, I'm very, very upfront about it. And I think that's one thing that in our business, a lot of times as realtors, we hold back and don't want to talk about the money. And I say, go for it, right? We're here to be professional. So own that. Okay, Erin's ready for us.
Also, I do just want to say with that, there was an agent in LA, actually, I think it was David Hitt and Ronald Shore. They used to give out these brownies for every referral, and I called them crack brownies because they were so good. So anytime you would send them a referral, they would send you the brownies. I used to be like, oh my God, I just need another referral so I can get the crack brownies. They were just so good. So treat your referrals with care.
Yes.
Okay, Command. So go into referrals. And then there's this spot that says map. We're going to change this from production. We're going to put this into referral patterns. And again, it's having an error today, but you can look at what is received, and you can also look at what is sent. So, you know, she's not happy today, but usually you can go to this page and it'll show you, you know, how many are coming in and how many are going out of New York City, but also from where. Last time, I think it was a lot of people were going to Dallas, a lot of people were going down to Florida, but it wasn't Miami, it was somewhere else in Florida. Yeah, and a lot of the coming in, it was like New Jersey, they were more local, but now she doesn't want to play nicely with us. But definitely check back on this so that you can see where the patterns are of people coming in and out. I wonder if I could just type it in. Watch that work.
Yeah, and is it, oh, there you go. Good job. Isn't that cool? You guys look at all the little things.
So this is what is going out, and this is what's being received. So we're receiving the most from here, right? So that means that it's hyper-local referrals. I know that I have referral partners in Queens that I go back and forth with. Garden City, Stamford, Texas, Summit, New Jersey, Atlanta, Georgia, New Jersey, Florida. So look at all these places. And then you can go to sent. And this is where we are sending most of ours, right? 23% of the referrals are sent locally. And Garden City. Who do I know in Garden City? All right. Fayetteville, Arizona. Who knew? I've never even heard of this place. Or
Arkansas. Yeah.
Sorry. Like Arizona, that's not right. Franklin Square.
You have to say that
Philadelphia,
Fayetteville.
Brooklyn.
Fayetteville. You got to say it with an accent.
Say it? Oh.
Fayetteville.
I'm like, Fayetteville. Fayetteville. Tampa. So this is just a really great spot to go.
Do you guys get what she's saying here? So now you know where to go and you'll be more likely. And again, a great script for that is, hey, I was just in Kelly and I see that most of the outgoing scripts are going to your cities. I would love to form a connection so that when I have more, and by the way, new agents can say this too, right? I'm lead generating every day and I want to make sure that I'm not missing an opportunity. So I want to make sure that I know the people that I can rely on. Do you have a referral partner in New York City? Are you looking for one? If you have someone already, is there someone in your office that maybe doesn't, that I could build a relationship with, right? Is this something that's important to you? You could do all that kind of sharing. Thank you, Erin, for showing us. That was awesome.
Yeah. And one thing that I can't stress enough is how important it is to really get to know this referral partner. You know, I 100% will go on someone's Facebook and look through and just kind of see what they do, see what they don't do, right? I stalk them. Yeah, sorry. Because then you know, like, okay, oh my gosh, this person also likes this, they also like that. And then if you talk to them, you'll see if they're a go-getter or not. Because I just had this happen. I gave somebody a referral like a year ago and they didn't really follow up. And the next time I spoke to my client, they were like, yeah, we just listed our house. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so exciting. But not with the person I put in touch because they never followed up.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
It's tricky. And that's the thing too. And again, so our next step is that, okay, so now you know where you're going to get, right? You're going to do your first touch. That's awesome. We've seen missed opportunities. We've seen gathered opportunities. We know where to go. So, okay, now we have a few people. Now what do we do? Well, you guys have read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, I hope. And if not, then you should do it right away. We have nothing but time. We're in a pandemic, people, and it's winter. But it's all about the touches at this point, right? How do you build a relationship? And it's strategically. You have to just make the choice that this is now a part of your business. This isn't just a hobby. If this is if this is something to do. Now, I do 36 touch for my clients. I'm probably about 24 touch for my regular agents. And then some of them, I literally communicate with I have probably a sphere of about 150 agents that we are messaging and texting and doing something online almost every day, some of the time, actually, because you really do become a part of their business. And those people will go out of their way for me and those people will come back. So I have a list, but I'd love to kind of mastermind on some ideas and hear you guys speak a little about something that you'd be willing to do. And again, Erin will be teaching the database class next week. So I'm hoping that these ideas that you're writing them down, because you will then know how to put those into action after next week. So who has some great ideas?
Patrice, one thing that you do, Patrice, at a really high level that I think we should mention is she actually, you know, we spoke about this a little bit, but I want to beat it home, right? Being in touch with these agents is the same as making contacts with people in your database, like even past clients, right? They are equally as important. You are getting pieces of business from them. So she is amazing at being on Facebook, and she has messages that go out to agents all the time. And it is like a copy paste starter message, but then to have a real conversation, right, with people, to build the relationship. And I think it's just so important for us to really change our mindset of, oh, agents are agents, et cetera. You know, I can throw a referral online whenever I need one. But the truth is, if you have great relationships with, you know, a couple hundred agents, just think about, then you're going to be like Patrice, being like, oh, it's January 22nd and I've had 11 referrals so far this month.
Well, that is a good point, Erin. And I will say the first time I started doing that, my script was something like, and I do save it every time someone friends me, they get the text that says, I'm from San Francisco. I'd love to help. I love doing referrals, and a little bit about me. And what she's talking about is, in addition, I also send out messages and I ask questions. So, you know, questions that'll reflect who I am. I'd love to hear about your year. I'm more purposeful about making connections, and this is what I'm looking forward to do. I would love to get to know people better, and these are the things I'm curious about. And I literally wrote that, you know, what are your plans for the year? What have you learned? And it has been amazing. You guys, you'll be surprised how many people come back. Like I joke, we were just teaching a class, and I'm always telling my team, like, you couldn't get anybody on the phone before COVID, and now you can't get off the phone, right? People want to talk, like give them that opportunity. There's never been a time like this where people are more reflective and sharing. And some people just give me a thumbs up and some people don't respond. I'm okay with that. And it literally says on there, it's okay if you don't respond. Like I get it. I get if you're busy. I just want you to know that I want to build a relationship, and that's a commitment I'm making. And so, yeah, that's a great idea, Erin. And yeah, and I just, you guys, I copy and paste, ding, 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 messenger, you know, one at a time. And the cool thing is, and then I have a real conversation once they get back. And then we actually have really neat things. And I am building genuine relationships. I'm just doing it strategically. Marshall, I saw you got off of mute. Are you going to chit chat with us?
No, nothing. That this helps us stay social during the pandemic, you know?
Yeah.
Not forget how to socialize.
And be who you are, right? Like if you were a high D, own that, because there are plenty of high Ds out there. If you're a high I and you got your little unicorn on your shoulder, I've even wearing like a rainbow shirt, then be that, right? And if you're like, I'm getting all the details right because I'm a high C, then be that. And if you're an S, you know, you guys are a little bit more afraid to get out there. Guess what? You have 60% of the population. You could take us over any moment now, right? So just put yourself out there and just make tiny baby steps, and your people will come to you. It's really powerful, actually.
I would love to say a couple of things about how you can utilize this with your clients as well, because this is so powerful, the agent to agent and building the relationships with the agents. However, you know, we want to, as far as I'm concerned, do two things. I always say this. I always want to build my clients' wealth, and I want to be their go-to for, I'm like flicking you all off. You don't know, I'm sorry. And Number two, I want to be their go-to for everything real estate whenever they think about it or hear it, no matter where, what, why, how. So this is why those forward conversations are so important, right? When we're calling our database, you know, if you, in the future, where do you see yourself ending up, right? I mean, especially in this area, not everybody, if you're in the city, I mean, not everybody's like, I want to, you know, die in this apartment where I have to walk to go get groceries, right? That's kind of morbid. I'm sorry. Friday. I want to bring my unicorn. But, you know, having those kind of, right, true. But having those conversations, right? Like, oh, if you had a second home, where would it be? Oh, okay, great. You know, and if it was at a certain price point, would you look into that sooner than maybe, you know, 10 years down the line that you were thinking? Does it make sense for me to put you in touch with someone there? Because I actually had someone that I just spoke to the other day. They're a great Keller Williams agent, no pressure, but if you're curious about the prices, I could find that out for you or put you in touch, right? Because sometimes people just don't know how much it would cost to buy somewhere else or what their opportunities are. So that's our job to find out. And how amazing if you could have such a great, like, I know if I had someone close, which, you know, Patrice, I have someone that I worked with here in New York, and they're like, oh, you know what? I want to go to San Francisco, Oakland, East Bay. I'd be like, great, I have someone. They would go and have the most amazing experience ever with her, that they would come back to me and be like, Erin, literally anywhere I go, you're just going to send me to, you know, someone just like you that cares the same way that you do, that will give me a level 10 experience. They'll tell their friends, they'll use you for everything, right? You want to be their person of choice. And the second thing, and I'll say this more probably for the people in Manhattan, but I always tell my clients, I'm here to help you build your wealth. And I have a lot of clients that are like, great, I really want to get my first investment. Awesome. And they're like, I want to send around 300,000. That is so exciting. That's a lot of money. Just not going to work in New York City. I don't tell them that, but what I tell them is, hey, look, since I care so much about building your wealth, would it make sense to speak to an agent in 1 or 2 locations where you, for that money, could actually get a 7 to 10% return on your investment instead of 2.5, 3 that you would get in the city, right? What do you think that person is going to say? Oh, thanks a lot for trying to make me more money. No, that's amazing. Who can I talk to? And I had one client I did this with. He's now investing in Nashville, and he told all of his friends, he's like, talk to her, because if this isn't right for you, she's going to be honest with you. And that can go so much further with our clients. So those are 2 ways that you can use that with your people now.
It's supersizing it, right? You're literally, and by the way, you guys, I commit to 50 contacts a week, and I usually get 100. So my commitment's at 50 and my goal is actually 100. Everybody's a contact, right? So Erin's just like, contact here, contact there. So it's just really neat to get to supersize it, and it's just fun. I don't know about you guys, but real estate is not always fun. You know, I'm joking, I have my little unicorn on my shoulder. I'm also a really intense, hardworking agent. And for a long time, I just had my head down, and it was about getting the best deal and negotiating and being aggressive and all of that stuff. And I still can get into that a little bit as well, obviously, because this is a job. And at the same time, that's the magic of this, is that you kind of get to be yourself a little bit, even with your clients, right? When we're advising people, when we're sending them somewhere that our location isn't the best, don't they even trust us more? Because they don't even think that we're making any money, right? It's okay to tell, but it's just really neat to be able to supersize that. And so Erin's just talking about how you get all these great opportunities. So I love that, Erin. I think that's really cool. I've got a thumbs up. Does anyone have any comments when we're in there?
Oh, we do have a question. I just referred a business to agent in the Philly area. I hope she will have clients for me too. How often should we check in our referral path? Oh,
love that.
Yes. You guys set expectations from the beginning, because the other agent won't. So like when I now am sending a referral to someone, I let them know, like in the beginning, I want to know, you know, where you are in the process. Later on, you can just tell me milestones, but I send that from the beginning. So a lot of times when people send me a referral, I will ask them, how do you want me to communicate with you? Do you want me to do it through like the referral page where you can just send an update? Or do you want me to text you? Do you want me to call you? How do you want me to communicate with you? And how often? Because I don't want to leave you out of the loop. And that will go for miles. So I would just, honestly, I would call that person and I would have that conversation. Sorry, I can't find your name. I'm not sure where you are. Oh, there you are. I would just call that agent and I would ask them, you know, or tell them like, I really like to have this much communication. Is that okay with you? Or you can ask them, you know, how much communication would you like to have?
Definitely. And I also check in with the clients as well. My assistant does really, but just to kind of follow up, because, you know, your reputation, the way that I feel is I always say things may not be my fault, but everything's my responsibility, right? So over the top, everything falls under my umbrella. If I'm connecting someone, I'm in charge of it all. So I just want to make sure that when my name's out there, I don't really care about the money. It's a nice treat when it comes in, but it's all about that connection and kind of getting those spaces. So do communicate with your people. Erin, I'm sure you could share why that would be important. I don't think you told that story,
Otherwise you'll
right?
lose it.
Yeah. She just had that recently, right?
Yeah, I did. I just had it recently where I lost, and I was on the phone with a client. They just listed for like $1 million, and it wasn't my person because we didn't follow up with them. And shame on me, I didn't follow up with that person, right? So that was my fault.
See, Marshall, we all have lots of missed opportunities. And then even you
We
had
do.
one where they thought someone couldn't be qualified, right? And so they kind of put them on hold. That was the one I was thinking of, right? That
Yeah.
agent,
Oh, yeah.
they did follow up, and yet they didn't give the same level of follow through potentially that you would have done.
You know what? It wasn't even that. It's an amazing agent, and to this day, I will refer them again, hands down. But I'm like high D bullet point New Yorker. Sometimes, a lot of the time, at least in business. So I sent a friend to an agent who is very often referred, great agent, successful agent, but their personality is more like laid back. They're more high E or high I than I am, la la. And my client called me, actually friend called me and was like, Erin, are you sure this agent knows what they're doing? He repeated himself a couple times. He walked me through the process twice. I was like, oh no. So that's another thing too, right? You want to match your client up with the right kind of agent and not just take for granted that they're a good agent, because they were not feeling that, a paragraph and it could have been a bullet point type of conversation.
And that's a good thing to tell people too. Some of us can morph. Again, I could be all unicorn, and people see me as the happy agent. That's my brand. But when my first part of the career, literally everyone that I know refers to me, the most difficult clients, they're engineers, and I'm considered a tiger. Negotiation is my freaking passion. I love crunching the other side, respectfully, of course, and ethically, but I love that, right? And it really does make a difference, because sometimes you have to know, so it's great for Erin to set that up where she'll say, hey, this guy's a high D. I need you to get just straight to the point. Or this person is insensitive about that. I've gone in with a luxury presentation and had someone that wouldn't take me because they thought I was too fancy. I was like, what? And then once I drove my my stepdaughter's car to an appointment, swear to God, and lost the listing because that person didn't think I was high end enough. It's all of these little details matter, right? If you're taking this as a business, you need to go all the way, and you really need to create that environment where both sides will have the best transaction, because then won't they both come back to you if they're watching you? This is a way for you to show that you're performing even when you're not that person. And I literally use that script all the time. Not, if something happens, this isn't my fault, but it's my responsibility. I'll even set that up with referrals and just say, hey, I'm referring you. They're amazing. Please give me feedback, because I like to be in control of everything. I'm still a part of this transaction with you. And no matter what happens, I want to know what's going on. So that kind of stuff really helps as well. Great. Setting that tone, right? Because if they do something wrong, I'm like, don't look at me, and I'll take it out. That's my responsibility. Let me get you someone else. If I set that tone, then it's very easy to say, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. And that has happened to me before, where I give a referral out. And thankfully, I had set it up that way, where I was able to put them in touch with a second realtor that actually gave a better level of service. And I called the first realtor and had a real frank conversation with them and just kind of said what it was. And I was able to keep that together because of setting that tone. So again, that communication, I think we say this about everything in life, right? It's over communicate, over communicate, over communicate. And I never think of myself as a salesperson. I am now, but I used to think of that as a dirty word. However, I facilitate a transaction smoother than anybody else. I'm going to make sure that this is the best experience. And I think that's part of why I get so many referrals, is because both sides feel like they're under my little sweet umbrella, with unicorns, of course. Sorry.
I just have to say, I find it so funny because so I know Patrice quite well, right? We speak every morning. She's my peak performance partner. And if you want to know the business Patrice, you should watch my Where to Wheelock, where I interview her. She's a badass. She's constantly number 2 in the area. So close for number 1, if not taking over the world over there. But she gets it done. They do so many transactions. But you would look at her and why wouldn't you work with her, right? She's so much fun. I think so many times in this business, we're like, let me put on my realtor hat. I'm the professional. Yeah. And we always forget that we can have fun.
To be honest, I was that for a super long time. And I took a class at Family Reunion, and it was talking about Instagram and social media. And it said, you need to know who you are. And I was like, this may be uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm a freaking negotiator, but everybody says they're number 1. You're like, I'm the number 1 agent in this, and I'm the number 1 agent in it. Nobody cares about that, you guys. I went back to my journal. I do a lot of journaling, and thought, okay, on my first transactions, why did people choose me? And that's when I used to ask. I don't really ask anymore. I assume they just see how amazing I am. I shouldn't do that. I should ask. But back at the beginning, people would say that I knew I was going to have a good time with you, or I knew I was having a great transaction. You guys were talking about people spending $1 million and feeling sorry for it. Like, people come to me in the Bay Area and they're like, I'm sorry, I can only afford 1.2. Can you find anything that would be good enough? I'm like, oh God, no, not really. Beat it. No, just kidding. I don't say that. But, but I always would say, you guys were spending $1 million, right? We all grew up when $1 million seemed like a lot. Remember, like on Austin Powers, like $1 million. So it's nice to be able to look at your person in the eye and say, like, we're going to have a great experience. So you decide on your brand, but I do think that that does help. Thank you, Erin, for saying the sweet things, of course. So you guys, we only have 7 minutes. So Erin, do you want to talk more about getting into, we don't have to go so far into the database because Erin will cover a lot. I just kind of want to hit our little hit list of what you can do to encourage these relationships. Because sometimes it's like, now what do I say? Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't really run out of things to say. But number one, you guys were part of KW. You can share Keller Williams classes, right? You can invite other agents that you like to come to these. Give them the sign-in. Let them join us. By the way, next week, Erin, amazing Erin, I don't know where she is on yours, she's on my screen here, is teaching a fantastic class. Invite someone. I know we have a South Carolina and a North Carolina, and we might have a New Jersey soon. Invite these agents and say, oh my God, I just learned so much. The reason that I'm forming this relationship with you is because of what I learned, and I really like our connection, and I want you to be a part of my business. Will you come and join me, right? Show them that you're doing stuff. Who cares if they come or not? I mean, awesome if they do, right? But if not, who cares? It's just you giving that opportunity. So KW classes, you could teach classes. Hello, before Erin and I she started Where to Wheelock because she felt a need to do it. And I started doing my kind of sticking my face out there for the same reason. But there's no reason that those of you, even new agents, cannot be out there, learn some material, and then go and teach it to others. If there's one thing we learn in KW is that you learn better when you teach, right? You need to get to mastery. So that is absolutely one. We talked about having a drip campaign or a touch program. And again, Erin will get more into the details, but be strategic. I have a newsletter, my first year really doing the newsletter, but I have a newsletter that goes out. One is for agents and one is for my clients. And by the way, I got lots of thumbs up woohoos, and I use BombBomb. And I don't know if you noticed, I'm kind of charming, but I sit out there and on my little video, and I literally said this month, I don't know if you've seen it, Erin, but like, hey, it's Patrice, and I wanted to reach out. I want to thank all my referral partners. I literally said because I had got 9 deals in that Witten week. Oh my God, I got 9 pieces of business that touched my hand this week. I'm so grateful. Thank you to everybody. My commitment is to get 100 referrals for my team, and I want to give 50 out. So you guys are my referral partners if you're getting this, and I hope that that the newsletter helps you, right? How easy is that? It's so easy to systematize. So that's number one. You should be touching them in other ways, whether it's social media. Just set something up. There are smart plans, there are opportunities, but remember, think about this as a business and run it properly. And again, Erin will have all those details next week for you. Handwritten cards, you guys, I hear all the time from people. I just got one actually the other day. I think we were on one of these classes about a month ago. Love it. And you can use AM cards, by the way. There you go. My handwritten cards are actually computerized. I click a button. I have to systematize everything. So I send out 20 handwritten cards at a time. And just last month, literally an agent that I met on a broker tour, and I just hit him on my little campaign. I never talked to him again. And he said, all that marketing's working. I have a referral for you. I met him last week for the first time. My agent on my team wrote an offer for him. It works. It's special. You want to be swimming upstream and doing something that's different, right? So do that, whether you're just writing them yourself. What else are you doing? It's a freaking pandemic. Get to it, people. Calls. Good old-fashioned phone calls. I love text messages, and I'm going to say, just like I do those blasts, I'll send out a 50 text on Monday morning, and I'll just wait to see who responds back to me. Contacts are easy when we're strategic about it, right? So something that'll give a value. Hey, I was just thinking about you. I hope your business is going well. Let me know when you have some free. Let's get on the Zoom together. Swear to God, you guys, that will change your business and change your life. I have a commitment to do like 4 Zooms with international people a month. Go ahead, Erin. Sorry.
No, that's great. I mean, just tagging onto that, it really is all about being purposeful. And if you start to build these relationships, the magical thing is you all of a sudden start hearing the words. Like there's a guy, Tyler Frank, that is coming up to New York, but I did a Where To with him, and he was talking about investing in Topeka, Kansas, because that's the market center he's out of right now. And he's talking about, he's helping someone, they were buying a home. They had to put 10% down, 20% down. The home was $50,000 and they were making $800 a month.
Wow.
I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? What? And so like ever since then though, it's like, because I had that conversation, I constantly hear people that are like, oh, I really want to start investing. I just don't have New York kind of money. I'm like, I got someone for you. Don't even worry about it. Let me just put you in touch. I think I probably put him in touch with like 4 people in the last couple of weeks. Because once you start having those conversations, you know the triggers to look for.
I love that. And by the way, I met him through Erin. And so he and I were supposed to do a phone call yesterday. Something came up, so he and I were not able to. However, like, again, it's just that I know Erin, she and I are partners. She has someone that's close to her. It naturally makes me feel like, oh, then I should know that person as well. So you just have to be bold and kind of reach out. And again, be purposeful, you guys. Time block for this, put it in there and run it as a business, because it truly can make such a difference. And then the other thing, again, it was just a fun idea, is masterminds. Marshall, you said you're brand new to this business. Like, what if you found other agents and said, hey, you guys, I want to mastermind. I'm new to this business and I just watched this great class on referrals and I'm so excited and I don't know what to do. And you specifically find agents from different market centers and you tag them, or however you call them. How fun would that be if you had 12 agents that were in your part of business, right? You might find a peak performance partner. You certainly could find referral partners. Again, you just would find someone to be able to know that you're going through the same thing together. So,
or put that in one of the referral groups. Like, hey, I'd love to do a mastermind at this time on this day, you know, Eastern Standard Time. Who's in? Send me your email.
Host it on Zoom. Keep it 45 minutes. You can have a free Zoom. I have 500 people. So if you get that many, call me. I'll let you use my login. But truly, I mean, I pay for the big one. You guys are not filling my seats, by the way. So by next week, Erin better have a darn full seat, because I have a lot of extra chairs here. I'm doing like Gary Keller, right? He said, like, build the freeway wide. So this will be a major something. And the other thing, you guys, is we've started a mastermind. We're starting to talk about it. We didn't host it yet because we're just so busy right now. But Erin and I will be doing that every Friday, kind of squeezing in where people can come and talk about all of those things, because we want to create opportunity for you as well. So Paula, thank you very much for putting that in there. I've got your name. I'm going to put you on the newsletter. Please, you guys, fill out that Google Doc, because Erin and I have a lot of stuff coming. We talk with a lot of people and we are very passionate about giving back. I do hope that I get your referral business in California. And both
clearly she's no fun. Your clients will feel terrible working with her, obviously.
And you can look me up for 5-star reviews, customer service awards, all that other stuff. But the reality is that, and again, you guys should be following that. If you think that's appealing, it's like, make it a nice experience. Someone's spending $1 million freaking dollars, right? They shouldn't feel yucky about it. They should feel very proud and get to make it an enjoyable experience. It doesn't happen every day. I worked at Disney World. I'm sure this is a surprise for everyone. For a couple of summers when I was in college. And the one thing I learned on the class is you were always on show, right? And it was a big thing. Like, some people saved for 5-10 years to do these vacations. Every detail matters. And here we are, we're dealing with $1 million transactions. You guys, every detail matters, right? It just does. Mm-hmm. And not everybody does it. So if you can convey this and you show those referral partners, you're going to stand out, right? You will get that referral business. It just takes time and a commitment and strategy and purposefulness and time blocking. That's all.
Oh my.
This girl. I love it.
Well, any more questions? How did you guys like the class? I expect a lot of hearts, by the way. So just prime in the pub. I'll show you how to do it. Yay! I'm going to give you a fin clap.
I had a question though. This would probably help with your downline as well. Get a few referrals, and you could definitely get a lot more agents talking to you about coming over to Keller Williams. I'm thinking.
Yes.
Thinking.
Yeah.
I love when people are like, oh, I'm with Compass because we have agents all over. I'm like, really? Let me show you our map. Let me show you the countries we're in. You want to talk about referrals? I got a map for you.
Yeah. And no
Sorry.
one does it like KW, right? I mean, we're the more positive, the business-minded people, and we share, you guys. Like, I don't know about Erin, but I'm not charging anything for this. Like, this is what I like to do, and I don't know if you
Don't
noticed,
tell
but I'm
her.
having fun, right? I'm like, clearly,
Don't
this,
tell her about the Venmo. You all are
right?
saying.
And we're not doing anything novel. This is literally just sharing something you're passionate about, and we have a beautiful opportunity here with KW, and I hope that you guys have learned something, and I hope everyone moves forward. I'd love to get emails and texts and all of those things, so please fill out the Google form. I'm going to put my email address in there and my phone number real quick. And thank you for spending the day with us. I hope you come next week, same time, while Erin is going to be such an amazing teacher, and bring guests. I have 500 seats to fill.
500 seats. And just so you guys know,
Wow.
thank you. It's something that I'm really passionate about, the database, because I swear the database class in Ignite changed my business, which then changed my life. So I love to teach it. And I'm so excited to share with you guys the tools that I took from the MREA and haven't been implementing. So
I learn every time too. You really do get into those details. Yeah, she's very inspirational. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate all of you coming. This was
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks
Great
for those of you
weekend.
that ask questions and participate. Any more questions before we're signing off? One more minute. 3, 2,
You're
1.
in California?
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, so the East Bay.
Oh, San Francisco. I've been there.
Yay!
Beautiful.
I know, we've got world-class cities here, New York and San Francisco. Everyone's always going to one or the other, so we should be able to do some business
Very
together.
expensive markets.
I know, yes. Well, today we had rain, but yesterday I was just coasting in the sun. And this, by the way, happened because I was hiking this weekend in a tank top, having a couple of beers outside after, and then I hurt myself. But our weather is just amazing, actually. So send me your people. Ryan, did you want to say something? You looks like you came off of mute.
Yeah, I was looking forward to coming to California.
Yay!
Hopefully,
So glad you did.
Come on out.
I went to San Diego and it was awesome in that vicinity.
It's a lot. We're not as warm as San Diego, and the water's
okay.
cold, and we have sharks in our water too. But otherwise, it's wonderful. But we have mountain bikes and like skiing, and it's so beautiful here. And wine, people like Napa.
A lot of outdoor opportunities. That's what I love.
Yeah, definitely.
That's another reason why I want to connect with other agents because I would like to move to a warmer climate. So Puerto Rico
Watch my YouTube channel. Wait, watch my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Where to Wheelock. I literally do an interview a week where I interview agents in different areas so that I can learn about their lifestyle and what their real estate is like there. And I just put out the BVIs. I just put out the BVIs, and that was amazing. Turks and Caicos. I lied. And but anyways, go there and you can see like these different areas. It's amazing, and you can learn about them.
Yeah.
Your name?
You can look up my name, but the show is called Where to Wheelock.
Yeah, follow us on Insta. We're all over the
Where
place.
to Wheelock?
Oh, another idea is I just told my team, like I actually have a list because I tag everybody like crazy. That's another way to get a lot of people to respond and to pay attention to you. Is I have my team go through, we actually made a list. And so they're all friending the people that I know, right? So, if you don't know where to start, like go to Erin's and see who she's friends with or from Puerto Rico, right? Or from wherever, because those are the more active people. Or do whatever. And Marshall, you're off of mute, so you might want to say something also.
Oh, well, I wanted to ask Erin, like specifically, I have a client from Mexico City. He's interested in investing in New York City. So I was wondering if later we could like talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I put in my email, but let me put in my phone number. Texting me is the best way, or emailing me. Yes.
Whoops.
And don't be surprised by the number. It's from Wisconsin, where I'm from.
Okay.
I never even really noticed that, actually.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people are like, don't you mean 212? Because that's a New York area code. I'm like, no, 262. I still got my Wisco number.
I love that. Yeah, and you guys follow us. I'm putting my little Insta in there, and I know we have to sign off because I know everybody has stuff to do. I've got Erin's email in there as well. So please send us, and I don't know if you could tell, again, we love doing this, so message us and just go direct. I think one of the things that's really important for me is we could teach classes where we literally just stand on the podium, and we really prefer the interactive and one-on-one. And we want you guys to implement it. We want you guys to really make progress and to share your successes with us. So can't wait to learn more from you once you guys find out cool stuff that we didn't even know.
We're ready for stories next week of your referrals.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much, Patricia. Thank you so much, Erin,
Thank
and
you.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks
See you
for coming.
See you next
See you
week.
next
Bye.
week.
And bring a friend.
Yes.
We'll charge you half price. Erin's going to charge you half price for her. You only have to send her half.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. See you
Bye.
soon.
You're
Bye.
welcome.